Headbangers Ball dedicated to Van Halen, and we just got back from a classic Kiss video, Lick It Up. And Van Halen fans out there will already know actually that it was Kiss's Gene Simmons who financed one of the band's early demos way back in 1976. So a bit of Van Halen trivia for you. Anyway, we're talking 95 now with Van Halen, their new album Balance, and Eddie and Sammy are going to answer some more questions hopefully. And Richard Wood from Sussex in the UK would like me to ask you where...
Say, are we supposed to know him? Or what?
Say hello, Richard.
How's it going, Richard?
There you go. He would like to know, where do you get the inspiration for songwriting from? You know, how do you manage to keep things creatively challenging? And was there any particular thing that had a big inspiration on you for Balance?
Well, for one, we're not really isolated as human beings. You know, we do a lot of different things. You know, we don't just lock ourselves up in hotel rooms after a gig or this and that. Right. So, really, life inspires me. You know, and these guys. You know,
hey, lyrically, honestly, you know, I write lyrics every day of my life practically, but I never have used an old lyric for a Van Halen track. It's like every time I write lyrics for a song, it's like I hear the music, and I hear what Eddie's playing, and it speaks its own language, and that's where the inspiration comes from, you know. And I wish I could say all the world travels and all the great experiences or bad experiences I've had in my life, but they come through. But the music is what honestly inspires the lyrics, and it's like it's really incredible. It's like it makes like the job real easy. I say, hey Eddie, play something.
Well, I mean, because the music always comes first.
Right.
You know, so.
Yes, because different bands do things different ways, but you found a formula that you can work to.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, on this album, there seems to be a lot more emotional peaks and troughs in the songs, and I was wondering if it's a reflection of kind of personal events,
well,
you know, in the lives of the band members.
I guess. I mean, something pretty heavy did happen to us a little over a year ago. A dear friend, and he happened to be our manager, passed away from cancer, and we were all a bit in shock, you know, for a while after that. So actually, getting into the studio and writing was a form of therapy for us, because you know, whenever you're freaked out, you tend to go with something you know, and you know, music is like an anchor for us. So going in the studio and doing that really helped.
So it was a kind of cathartic experience.
Yeah, but I think subconsciously, I guess maybe it had an effect. But you know, if anything, we went to the studio to get away from it.
Right.
You know, so I don't know.
But you know, we make what I call honest records. Not that no one else does this, but you know, we go in with nothing in mind, and we try to put who we are down on a record. You know, and so the past 3 years, everything that happened in a funny way is on this record. You know, our lives are in there. Everything that went through. You know, our manager, a lot of things. You know, we don't have to go through all the personal things, but you know, things happen, and those things are all on this record because that's all we can do is we just reflect on who and what we are. This album is the most up to date I think Van Halen's ever been in a funny way for who and what we are, because like I said, everything was fresh, and we did it fast.
Yes.
For once. First time we've ever done it really fast. You know, we had a producer that was a coach.
Yes, because you worked with Bruce Fairbairn for the first
he
time.
wouldn't let us low for a minute. I mean, this guy, he was very...
Heavy work ethic.
Yeah. Well, it's also, he was very organized. Every day we'd walk in and say, today we're doing this. Whereas if you left Sammy, Al, Mike, and I alone, we'd be going, no, I want to do this. No, I want to do that, you know. And so he was very organized and got us to do, you know, whatever he wanted us to do that day.
Kept you disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, 4 months, you know, for a record was quick for us to write and record.
Excellent.
You know?
Okay, well, Becca from Finland, she would like to ask, how do you live up to the Van Halen legend? Is that a difficult thing to do? And she'd like to know how you set your own standards for each new song that you write.
Wow, I mean, if we are considered legends, we got to be legends just being ourselves.
Yeah.
So just continuing on being ourselves is, I guess, what'll carry us on. Right?
Yeah. I mean, just being honest, you know, like if there's anything to live up to, it's honesty and well, conviction. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're pretty much into what we're doing as a life and not just a temporary band. I mean, you got two brothers in this band, Eddie and Alex, and they're into it together for life. They're going to be brothers for life. They'll be in the same band together for life. They will always play music together, and it's like, and that's contagious.
We really,
for Mike and I, it's kind of like we feel like there's four of us. It's like, God, well, we're not going to betray
it is a family
our
kind of
friends,
thing.
you know. Yeah,
right.
It is.
And it's just a common bond, you know. And that common bond is the music. You know?
And I think that Van Halen is a band, perhaps like Aerosmith, that has operated above trends over the years, and you've always ploughed your own furrow. Is there anything around in music that excites you at the moment, or has had some kind of impact on you for balance? You know, not necessarily musical inspiration, but even in terms of energy levels or anything like that. Do you keep in touch with what's happening?
Well, I like a lot of stuff that's out, but I don't know. Ever since, God, way back when I first started playing, like when Cream first came out, that was an impact on me, you know. But nothing really since then has really blown my mind. But you know, I like a lot of stuff that's out. You know, I like Tori Amos.
Right.
Love Peter Gabriel.
Yep.
I don't know.
Varied taste.
Listen to all kinds of stuff.
For me, I think, you know, as a singer, the person that I really like listening to him sing is the guy from Soundgarden. I think he's
Chris Cornell, fantastic.
Yeah,
yes.
I think Chris is a great singer. You know,
Yeah.
it's very seldom that somebody comes up in a new band and they sing that well. Usually, you can become better. So, like in Montrose, I didn't sing that good. You know what I mean? And like, I was happy with what I did, but you know, when I was like his age singing, you know, it's like he's a great singer at you know, for being a new band. He's got a great career ahead of him, I think, and that band and everything. I don't mean not the band being a singer though. And I really love the Cranberries records, both records. I think they are one of the best songwriting bands, and she's such a great singer. That stuff is just good to listen to. I really like listening to it.
There's a lot of feeling in that, and I think that the same can be said of the songs on Balance. I certainly think that you certainly conjure up a lot of moods and emotions in the songs.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
the idea of it.
So, you know, the album is only just out in Europe. Do you think there's anything about it that's going to surprise people? What do you think people are going to come back to you and say about the new record, the thing that surprised them?
Well, it's pretty hard to predict the future. I mean, I have no idea. Like I said earlier, to me, each song is like, I mean, I don't know if they're going to have favorite songs or which ones they'll be. You know, 'cause there's such a diverse section of tunes on this record.
Because I think it shows a lot of different sides to the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully on this we'll be able to make 4 or 5 videos and have 4 or 5 different singles.
And 4 or 5 different versions of each video to explain each tune, you know.
But I mean, 4 or 5 different types of songs. We've really got deep into our songwriting on this record,
Yeah.
and I think if we can have the length of this record, if I could see the future, I'd say people will see what Van Halen can really do instead of just being one-dimensional. Usually, a group like Van Halen is thought of as just, you know, this certain kind of a band, and
Yes.
will make a certain kind of a song and a certain kind of a video. Well, I hope that we can break all molds and show all other bands and all other musicians that you can play any kind of music. It's like sex. You don't only do it one way. It gets boring. And we can play music any way we want in a lot of different ways. And I think hopefully we can display all that on this record in the long run.
Good.
That's what I
Well,
would
I'm
want.
in 100% agreement with that philosophy, both on sex and music. And you know, I wish more people, I think people should definitely be a lot more open-minded, not try and categorize things and try and put people in categories. In my book, music is either good or bad, and it's up to the individual to decide.
Well, actually, it's more, do you like it or not? No, not good or bad. I don't think it is bad music. So you like it or not?
Okay. Well, we're going to talk to the guys some more. We got a very short commercial break on the way right now, and after that we've got more Van Halen back catalogue videos, and we'll be talking to the guys some more about the new album Balance. So stay tuned as the Headbangers Ball Van Halen special continues. We'll see you after the break.
Damn, rolling after damn.